This bulletin is brought to you by Good Morning Vihalia. Enjoy the warmth and indulge in the deliciousness.
Good morning, good morning.
Ladies and gentlemen, good evening. Are you interested in purchasing a property at the futuristic green city called Forest City in Johor? Well, that depends on whether you're a foreigner or not, because Prime Minister Dr. Mahathir Mohamad today has vowed to prevent foreigners from purchasing properties at Forest City. Check it out.
But one thing is certain, that city that is going to be built cannot be sold to foreigners. They cannot be sold to foreigners. So we are not going to give visas for people to come and live here. Our objection is because it was built for foreigners, not built for Malaysians. Most Malaysians are unable to buy those flats.
So a little backstory here. Forest City is a mega project built by China's Country Garden Holdings Company in a joint venture with businesses held by the Sultan of Johor, His Majesty Sultan Ibrahim Ismail. Originally, it was envisioned as a sprawling 13.86 square kilometer smart city built on 4 artificial islands. The developer had projected a population of 700,000 by 2035, but the project was mostly marketed to foreigners since it was way too expensive for us broke locals to afford. Dr. Mahathir took notice of this on the campaign trail leading up to the 14th general elections, and he used it to take potshots at his predecessor Najib Abdul Razak for allowing the project to go on, arguing that it would, quote, severely damage the demographics of Johor. Prior to GE14, Mahathir had also warned that the project was being marketed as freehold and likened it to selling Malaysia away. Najib had denied this, and then came the argument of a freehold strata title on leasehold land, a concept that even the top property experts are still trying to grasp. Country Garden Pacific View Sendirian Berhad, or CGPV, which was one of the companies overlooking this project, then cast doubt over the veracity of media reports on Dr. Mahathir's statement by saying that his comments, quote, may have been taken out of context. In a statement, they said that they have contacted the Prime Minister's office for clarification. Fast forward to today, CGPV says that Mahathir's comments don't correspond with the content of the meeting between the Prime Minister and the founder and chairperson of Country Garden Holdings, Yung Kwok Kyong. Country Garden Holdings is the Guangdong-based company which has a controlling stake in CGPV. Now, according to CGPV, Mahathir had told Yung during a 40-minute meeting on the 16th of August that Malaysia welcomed foreign investments which could create employment, promote the transfer of technology and innovation. Meanwhile, the company said Forest City complied with the necessary laws and was allowed to sell their products to an international audience. Malaysia's first multi-grains brand. The champion is Good Morning. The Pakatan Harapan government is expected to table a budget deficit for the next few years. Now, with a trillion ringgit debt, that is kind of what we all expect. But, you know, that's what Finance Minister Lim Guan Eng told the Dewan Negara today, so that now we're all on the same page. The previous Barisan Nasional government had targeted for a balanced budget by 2020, but later they said that it would be delayed for a few years due to fiscal challenges.
Cadangan beliau bahawa kita, kalau boleh, memperkenalkan belanjawan berimbang. Ini adalah suatu matlamat yang semua hendak mencapai lah. Semua hendak laksanakan. Tapi susah untuk dicapai dalam keadaan kedudukan kewangan yang agak terkongkong dan juga agak berkurangan. Lebih-lebih lagi dengan utang negara yang telah mencacah 1 trilion ringgit. So oleh itu untuk mencapai matlamat belanjawan berimbang, saya rasa agak sukar pada bukan sahaja pada tahun depan tapi pada beberapa tahun akan datang.
In their fairy tale election manifesto dubbed the Buku Harapan, Pakatan Harapan promised to revamp the Official Secrets Act or OSA with an accompanying Freedom of Information Act. In an interview with Malaysia Kini and Kini TV, Prime Minister Dr. Mahathir Mohamad said that he believes that the OSA should still remain despite being abused previously. So of course, we asked him why.
The OSA was a good law, a necessary law. Governments must keep secret certain things. For example, if we are negotiating a treaty with another country, we need to keep that a secret because we don't want the other party or the other country to know what we are thinking about, how far we would go. That would be a secret. But when somebody commits a crime, that is not a secret. It is stated that your evidence of a crime cannot be hidden. You see, when openly this man read the thing and you know what he read, it was bunkum, not truly the whole report, and then says, oh, this is official secret. That is hiding evidence. Hiding evidence is a crime. You see?
So would your administration promise that it will not abuse the OSA? Is that what you're trying to say?
Yeah, that's right. There are things that we must keep secret. You know, there are things we discuss in cabinet, for example. If we tell the whole thing about what we discuss in cabinet, a lot of us will be hammered. You see, so we have to keep secret, but you have to be open. In the cabinet, you have to speak out properly. If you don't speak out, then we'll make wrong decision. So we must know the pros and cons. But if people's argument in their members, cabinet ministers' argument in cabinet is open to public, then we cannot make any decision.
You have made good points about the OSA, but the fact remains that it was abused anyway. And if you promise not to abuse that, depends upon your altruism. But for future governments that come in, they may abuse again and they may like cover up something like 1MDB again. So how then do you address the law to prevent abuses?
All laws are made in order to restrict people. But there will always be people who will break the law. That is why the law is there, to punish people who break the law. Now, we make a law. The law is not perfect. It is open to abuse. But you hope to find people who will not break the law, who will obey the rule of law. That is what is important. The last government did not follow the rule of law. They did what they liked with the law. So what's the good of laws which are being broken? The main thing is to find a government that will not break the law, that will dedicate itself to the rule of law. The law itself is not perfect. It cannot, even if you had the best law in the world, you still find crimes being committed against the law. See, that is the way of things. But you have to understand how to make use of the law to minimize, if not to totally eliminate crimes. That is what the law is about. Don't think that just because you have a law, everything is fine. No. You see, a law can be abused. And we have seen in the last government how laws were abused totally, you know. But if you don't want to have OSA, we can, but there will be no government because we are restricted. We cannot talk freely, because if we talk freely in cabinet, that will be known to people.
Last week, former Inspector General of Police Abdul Rahim Muhammad Noor was appointed as the new facilitator for peace talks in southern Thailand. Now, we call him the ex-IGP, but as far as PKR Vice President Nurul Izzah Anwar is concerned, he is a, quote, brutal assaulter of an innocent man, referring to her father, PKR President Anwar Ibrahim. Anwar was assaulted while in police custody 20 years ago, leaving him with a black eye. A Royal Commission of Inquiry that was conducted on the matter found that it was Rahim that had assaulted Anwar. So today, a rather disgruntled Nurul Izzah fired off a tweet saying that she unequivocally opposed the appointment of Rahim, which drew the support of PPBM strategist Rais Hussein and also the former UMNO youth chief Khairi Jamaluddin. Earlier this afternoon, Rahim responded that Anwar's black eye incident was irrelevant to his recent appointment and that, quote, what is past is past. Our final story for today concerns something we've talked about before. Sugar, the white powder that even 5-year-olds are getting high on. Today, Prime Minister Dr. Mahathir Mohamad confirmed that Putrajaya is indeed mulling a soda tax.
One of the things is that we find some people drinking this bottle drink, in one day, 6 or 7 bottles of bottle drink. It's not necessary. You can drink water. So if you drink bottled drink, there's a lot of sugar in it. We want to reduce the consumption of sugar. Because we go everywhere in the hospital, you find people coming in for some disease, but when we check, they all have diabetes. Diabetes rate is very high in Malaysia because we take too much sugar.
So one of the reasons that was given is to reduce sugar consumption, which is a cause for diabetes. According to the National Diabetes Institute, Malaysia has the highest diabetes rate in the continent of Asia. That's some worrisome news knowing how sweet our gastronomic habits are. So perhaps discouraging sugar consumption is the answer? Sugar, after all, is a controlled item in Malaysia, so they're gonna control it indeed. Domestic Trade and Consumer Affairs Minister Saifuddin Nasution Ismail today announced that the price of sugar will be cheaper by 10 cents effective the 1st of September to match up with the global drop in sugar prices. But hang on a moment, aren't we trying to discourage sugar consumption? Is the government coordinated in this effort? Special Officer to the Finance Minister Tony Pah initially said that the soda tax was more to attain a new revenue stream for the government. So cheaper sugar but more expensive soda? Then what about diet soda? What about soda water? All that stuff. Are those going to be taxed too? Let's talk about it on Twitter or in the comments. Don't forget to hit like, follow, subscribe, and share this video. I'm Daniel Anthony. Thank you for watching.